Everybody here are the actors in line. There's so much going on in the NFT world. It seems like uncharted sea. Let Matthew and Rizzle guide us through. The speaker is ready and so are we. Let's keep sailing on the Metaverse. There's this when the lightning strikes. So listen up, there's a lot to learn. Keep the treasure in your sight. Please no one get the veggie draw. Just upgrade your microphone. Together we're strong, we ain't gonna stop. Welcome to the WIP meetup.
Boom, and there we are. Quick mic check. I sound okay, or do I sound like I'm in the veggie drawer? Heard. Thank you, Driver Nate. Titty Five, boom. There we go. What up, everyone? Matthew, aka Nifty Time here. Welcome back to the WIP. Really excited to get into today's show. We have, first of all, a bit of culture, a bit of mystery. We're hitting up the Origin Art Museum led by the Moral Collective. Really excited to take a tour in Cryptovoxels. Already hanging out here in the first room, seeing a ton of rare Pepes. Very excited for that. If you're not in World, make sure you jump in there. The wearable giveaway for the Fabiano Speciati wearable giveaway is contingent on being in World. We're going to be dropping the link in a little bit after the tour and after Fake Paradox takes a commemorative photo of all of us this week. Also joining us, we have a super shadowy coder trader figure with a rich history in the space. Actually, OG Cent engineer back in the day. Really excited to hear Raymond talk about his past couple of years of market making, building, all that good stuff. So look forward to that. And yeah, if you have any questions, make sure you send them to the general chat, tag show. He's going to relay them to the speakers. A quick shill before I pass the mic to the hype master of the Metaverse, Rizzle. Check out and listen to our voices a little more after the WIP. We just released a new episode this week. Last week we were off. Rizzle was out with the family, touching grass, making magical memories with the fam. So we came back. We're talking about what happened, the 10 years of activity that happened last week. So fun episode there. And with that, I'll shut my mouth, pass it to Rizzle to get everyone hyped before we start taking a tour in the Origin Art Museum. Rizzle, you there? You're still muted, sir.
Jeez, I had to hit that 3 times. Can you hear me now? I was in our drawer for being gone for a week. Yo, I saw easy that you took 3 weeks off, dude. I can't even imagine stepping away for that long, but I'm sort of jealous, to be honest with you. I'm sort of in the dark, which is good because it's mystery week, whatever is going on here today. I was actually off last week. A bunch of people know I took wife and kids and we went on vacation ourselves, which we hardly ever do, pretty much never do, unless we're visiting families or something. So it was fun. It was good to be away with the fam. It hits differently than going to visit someone or something like that. So we never get to do it. So I appreciate y'all and Matt holding it down while I was gone. I wasn't running off to the Bahamas with all my on-chain chains or anything. I was coming back. I got a couple people trolling us trolling me on Twitter, good-naturedly. Should have. So yeah, I'm here for it. Whatever's going on, the culture, the mystery, and the things from Fabiano and Patricia should be dope. I believe somewhere along there we're gonna have some Q&A with show. Like Matt said, we'll do a group shot with Fake Paradox and wrap up a tight event of whatever is going on here today. So I'm stoked. It's great to be here as always. I was telling Matt, I don't know if this actually got recorded or if it was before the podcast, but I actually had a dream about the WIP the day before the WIP was going on when I was gone, and I think it's the first time it's ever actually happened when I wasn't there. Someone can correct me if I was wrong, but it was weird. I was feeling the WIP vibe even from very far away. Like Matt said, hop in world. If you aren't in there already, that's the way you'll get the wearable from Fabiano Patrizia, whatever it is. So I don't even know, a piece of pizza with like googly eyes or something, but it's not really pizza. It's something. So that's that. Let's see. Couple quick things. We are broke. Give us money. We're like a Metaverse public broadcasting thing or something, and we have like a crew of people who helps us put this on every week. If you send money to the WIP meetup.eth, it will go to the crew. If you talk to Matt and want to like give him stuff or money or something, Matt hasn't rugged anybody yet, so we still trust him. Shout out to everyone who makes this happen week in and week out. Sandy Meows, it's Carolina Duff, Foxy Yoga, Easy Paradox, Fake Paradox, Show, Dragonate, Conwolf the Stowaway, Brookhawk the Chef, Fabiano, Patricia, Johan, Matthias, Matt. Thank you all very, very much. With that, who do I pass the mic to? I see Origin Art Museum is in the house. Are they taking the mic, or how do you want to do this, Matt?
Yeah. It's Origin Art Museum's time to shine. So I think you were server muted, unmuted you. So whenever you're ready, unmute if you have an external microphone and take it away.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Is that mic working?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, thanks folks for inviting me. Very, very excited to do this. So I've got about 10 minutes and then a few questions. So obviously this will need to be quite a quick tour. So I'm a founder of Morrow Collective in Dubai. We're a fine art NFT exhibition company and consultants and curators. But I also founded Origin Art Museum. And Origin Art Museum, we've been collecting since mid 2020. Just absolute love for art, love for NFTs, love for crypto. So just this is something we adore doing. And we got a Nakamoto card back in 2021, and we got a few sort of derivatives of it, not too many. And then Matt Kane launched his Nakamoto card back in July of last year. And if any of you saw his tweet, he said, look, we're going to distribute these Nakamoto cards, but I want you guys, the community, to tell me what the card means to you and what the original Nakamoto card means to you. So we just thought, why don't we build a little room in Voxels and show a few derivative cards? And we thought there'd be around 50. We thought there'd be maybe 50 derivative cards and rare Pepes and everything else that are derived from the Nakamoto. We were very, very wrong. There's about 600 that we found so far. We've managed to collect around 530 of them, but there's so many of these things, as you can see. So we'll just whiz around the museum, show you a few bits. Obviously, I can't possibly mention every card, but I love every single one of them in here and the artists and communities that produce them. This has been a massive rabbit hole, finding out about this stuff, finding out about all the different sub-communities like the Bobos and the Wojaks and everything else. But the community is just incredible. People are friendly and enthusiastic and they love this. So it's an absolute pleasure. So welcome to the Nakamoto Tribute Museum. It's a sub-room within the Origin Art Museum. So straight ahead of me here, so I'm the guy on the middle podium with the rare Pepe face. Straight ahead, we have the one that began the whole thing. We have Mike's rare Pepe. We have the Nakamoto card. This started it all. I mean, if you're in this space, you know that this is such an important NFT. I won't go into the story now, but if you look behind yourselves, you've got Rare Skrilla's Pepe history, which gives you a pretty good summary. And there's an article linked there that tells you a lot more. So if you want to know more about the story, just click those links. So if we just go through, this first wall is the sort of derivatives that look the most like the original. There's ones that are flipped, upside down, mirrored. If we turn on the left wall here, we see one of the first big evolutions of the card, and it was Yotet's Fakeomoto. So this was one of the fake rares. The fake rares are the reborn Pepe series. So. And Yotet's Fakeomoto is held up as one of the sort of seminal pieces in there, and it's a big step forward in the history of Nakamoto card. So we have some derivatives of the Fakeomoto then on the left of that one. In the corner, And then if we move around to the wall over here where I'm facing now, we've got the one that sort of inspired us to do this. It's Matt Kane's Not Komodo. And this wall, the resolution in voxels is pretty good, but if any of you know Matt's work, it's just immensely detailed. So a very high res version of this is just intricacy through the ceiling. It's just absolutely incredible. So this is another evolution of the card into the sort of its latest incarnation with Matt's version. We wrote a little bit of a summary here about what we think of it. At the bottom there, you've got the 300 Club, the Nakamotos. There's a Nakamoto's group that create a unique little, it's almost like a PFP. And then we have Johnny Johnson's 300 card that he issued to everyone who held a Nakamoto card, which is a nice touch by Johnny. On the left wall here, I'll just pull you over here, show you this card here, the Nakamoto card by CMYK. This is actually the oldest asset in the museum. This card, the name was registered on Counterparty in 2015, and the artist CMYK added the image a lot later. You can see it's got Kevin on it, but this is actually the oldest asset. So this is from 2015, which is about a year before Nakamoto card was actually minted. So everything in this room is a direct version of the Nakamoto card. So it's all the same figure, the same positioning, the same face, basically. If you look on the ceiling, you've got a couple of projects that are just producing loads and loads of different versions. These are all one of ones. A lot of these are by a project called Pepe Town. If you click any of these, you can click through and go to the OpenSea listings. So they're all accessible. You can go see who's created them and the other works that they've got available. So if we move into the next room, conscious how much time we've got. So this next room is versions of the Nakamoto card, but with different characters, right? So this is where things start getting a bit wacky. So when you come in here, you'll see that it's the same card. It's the same sort of structure, the same frame, the same design, but there's a whole load of different characters. And this is where you start getting into like the different projects. So you've got the Spamgelo, you've got the Swans, the Bobos, the Shadowlays, you've got the Doge cards down at the end, you've got a memory chain card with the Japanese translation. So you've got a whole load of different characters here. And just the inventiveness is just unending in this community. The memes, the self-referential stuff, it's brilliant. Just on the left here is one of my favorites is Johnny Johnson's Nakamoto head, because I'm a massive Lemmy fan, and his card here is just a nice tip of the hat to Lemmy. And up on the ceiling, there was one by Manic Creations that we only added to the museum yesterday, which we think is a really clever concept. It's a really nice, interesting version of Nakamoto. We haven't seen anything else like this, but it's very cool. And then, we've got the Pepalians here, and we've got some of the latest projects. There's a Mikamoto here, which is from the Mikaboshi project, which is pretty brand new. I think that project's been going for just a few weeks now. There's a massive pickle in front of me. Hey, Flash Mob. That's a very cool wearable. All right, if we go into the next room. So the next room is when things get genuinely a bit nuts, because when we started doing this, we said we're just going to try and get cards that have the full Nakamoto design. Room 3 contains cards that show the face of Nakamoto or show images of the cards themselves. So there are a lot more cards in here. So the first example is Napalm Nakamoto that's got Dorian's face and it's got an image of the original card on it. So when we come in here, things do get really nuts. But every single card in here, if you look hard enough, you will find Dorian's face as it was designed in the original Rare Pepe card. I just want to draw your attention to Sean Leary's Pepe Mosaic Nakamoto here on the left. This is amazing. So this isn't actually an NFT. We don't own this NFT. This is just a high-res image that he provided us, because he does these physicals. These are physical pieces that he does. And this image here, he's created it from every single one of the original Rare Pepe cards. There's over 1,700 cards, and he's used every single one of them in this image. It's an incredible achievement. Sean Leary sells these. If you want one, get in touch with him and he can sell you one. But it's an amazing piece of work. Down on the right here, we've got some wearables that I'm actually wearing on my avatar. It's Rare Skrilla's Rare Pepe shoes. And if you look really carefully on the side of the shoe, you can see there's a little pixelated Nakamoto face on there as well. All right, so as we go into the next room, on the floor, there's 3 marble cards that we managed to get hold of. One showing each of the 3 sort of evolutions of the Nakamoto card. We have the original by Mike. We then got Fakemoto by Yotet, and then we've got Matt Kane's Nakamoto. And then we have some other projects on the floor. So we've got Mikaboshi there with the 4 different Dorian faces. We've got some other more esoteric projects here. So there's Pepes everywhere, and there's Nakamoto cards absolutely everywhere. So there's stuff here from obviously from the Bitcoin chain, from Counterparty. We've got stuff from Tezos on Object, and we've got ETH stuff as well. We've got a few other examples in here. So the fuck box, if you look at the back wall here from where you went in on the pillar on the left, these are cool little designs, super glitchy, pixelated designs. And then Vizik provides these Genesis flip images here. So there's one here of the dab dump. So there's a few of the Genesis flip ones throughout the museum, and he just flips the images and applies different filters on them, but they're a cool idea. And you can see some original Rare Pepe cards in here littered around, some of the ones that had the images on. So we've got Qubits Pepe here on this wall, and you'll see Dorian's face pop up from time to time. Rare Pepe Pump, you've got the image of the cards there popping up and down. So yeah, I mean, there's hundreds in here. I could talk about every single one. I love them all. But when I talked to Matthew about this, he thought it'd be a good idea if we open up for some questions. So I'm open for questions, folks. But obviously, look around, enjoy it. I'm just loving seeing all these mad avatars in here. This is awesome.
Dude, thank you so much for this tour. Like, I walked around here pre-show, but without the context that you added with this tour, like it was not clear to me like how everything was curated or set up. This is insane, man. And again, like the total number of derivatives, I had no idea. And the fact that you've collected such a sizable percentage of all of those as well, it just really adds to what you have here. I did see some questions here, so I'll just pass the mic real quick to Show to relay some of those questions to you, if that works for you, Show.
Sure. All good.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
All right, give me a moment. We got a couple that flew in here. Okay, we have a question from Johan. He would like to know, how did you amass such a large collection of pieces?
Slowly and with a lot of research. So I think that the first thing is finding them. To find them was half the battle, right? So there's 200 plus artists here. So it started off quite easily. So there's some obvious ones on the main directories that you can go and find. Then obviously you're digging through the old Rare Pepes and trying to find any of the ones that have even Dorian's face anywhere hidden in the card. So you got to find them first. But then going through sites like Dankset and just scrolling through every single artist's full portfolio to find out if they've ever done anything with the Nakamoto face. Then doing the same thing on Object, then doing the same thing on Ethereum. So going on OpenSea and just typing in search phrases like Naka, and then just scrolling through thousands of cards to find some of the really super esoteric stuff in here. So the first part was just finding them. And then a lot of them weren't for sale. A lot of them were either already owned or they were old and there were no dispensers open. So then it was just finding out how to contact the artists. A lot of the artists don't have Twitter. So digging through, going on Telegram, searching for Bitcoin addresses, seeing if anyone's ever posted their Bitcoin address as part of a contest or something, then messaging them, contacting them. So there's a whole load of steps of researching, finding them, finding the artists. And then coming up with the funds is obviously the painful bit. So, I mean, we've sold a lot of sort of our crypto. We've sold other bits. We've even sold stuff from real life to fund this. As you can probably tell, it's become something of an obsession. But yeah, so we amassed the collection by just ferocious, boneheaded research and just an obsession, really. And then just begged, borrowed, and stole what we could to fund it. We've been lucky enough that 58 of these pieces have been donated by artists. We've bought at least one piece from every artist, but some of the artists have been kind enough to donate some of their other work to us, so we're eternally grateful for that. But does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. We also have a
Cool.
question from Dragonade. He would like to know, can anyone create a new Komodo and how?
Yeah, so anyone can. So there's a few ways of doing it. I think most people go through the fake rare directory, so people can create dank rares or rare commons or fake rares, and you just apply with a design. And I actually think some of the artists have told me that they've created them specifically because they knew we were collecting them. So I think we've created a rod for our own back, because people are creating cards specifically because they know we're collecting them. But we wanted to sort of say on this show that we're probably going to stop collecting now. We sort of have to financially, but we've really achieved what we wanted to achieve. There are about 12 or 13 more cards that we consider essential and that we would love to collect, and we've actually listed them on one of the walls in the first room, the names of the cards, but they're impossible to get. So it's things like Pepe Ross, which is a series 2 card, it's being sold for like $80,000 US. There's Nakavato, which is a very cool Norman Comics card. It's a brilliant card. It's one of my favorites ever, but there's just none for sale. We're going to probably stop collecting now, but anyone can create a new card by just creating the art and minting it. You can mint it yourself on OpenSea, you can mint it yourself on Object. If you want to go through the sort of traditional Bitcoin chain channel, you can apply on fake rares. And if you go to the fake rare directory, I've linked to all of the community sites, and the sort of tools are linked in the first room and in the Twitter thread. You can contact them and you can mint a card with them, and it'll then go onto the community sites.
That's cool. We also have a question from Hidden Forces. He would like to know, do you see a Nakamoto Pepe cereal in the near future?
What do you mean? Sorry, I don't understand what you mean by cereal.
Cereal as in a breakfast food?
Oh yeah, I would buy that. I would buy as many boxes as I could fit in my house.
That sounds delicious. Lastly, we have a question. We have a question from Rizzle. He would like to know: are there certain Nakamoto Pepe cards that they have chosen not to collect, or you have chosen not to collect or include in the collection?
Good question. There are some. So on the ceiling of the first room, there's a couple of projects that have produced a lot of cards. They're all one of ones, but they weren't expensive. So they're on the ETH chain or the Polygon chain, and we chose not to collect them just because, for financial reasons, but also because we had very good representation from those artists already, and literally space was a consideration for we want to represent as many artists as we can, so we want to leave space for as many artists as we can. But aside from that, I can't think of any cards that we've deliberately not selected, deliberately not chosen. No, I can't think of any.
Amazing. If anyone else has any other questions, tag Origin Art Museum in the chat. But yeah, this is bananas. This is mad. This is, I mean, at the end of the day, just so fucking dank what you've put together here.
Thank you very much. It's been, guys, this is a real pleasure and a privilege to come on your show. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys like the museum. Ultimately, why we did this is we're not artists, so we can't create. we really wanted to just give something back to this community because it's such an awesome community. And the phenomenon of Pepe is so important, and it's led to so much in this space that we genuinely just wanted to put something together that celebrated that, and that sort of was a genuine tribute to what it's done for the community, the Nakamoto card and the whole culture and subculture that's come from that. So it's just a pleasure to do it, and it's a pleasure to share it with you. Thank you all for joining today. And thanks to Matthew and the team for giving us a chance to talk to you. It's a real honor. Thank you.
The passion is definitely bled through. And before we get to the next speaker, since we are in this last wing of the build and everyone's kind of present with us, I'm not sure. And also, like, since the Marble cards are here and we have the co-founder of Marble Cards here with us today, maybe Fake Paradox, do you want to do that group shot in here? Does that work for you? Cool. So I know Dragonet mentioned maybe his mic is not super good, so I'll try to corral everyone. Everyone that has been walking around the wings, come to that last space where the marble cards are situated there on the floor. Line up throughout some. Oh yeah. Throughout a direct link. Anyone that is in there that has Discord on the same computer, can you drop a direct link? That'd probably help everyone. But it seems like everyone's finding the room. No problem. There we go. Thank you, Easy. Yeah. Fake Paradox, just let us know when you're ready, and yeah, go do your thing if you want us to emote or dance or whatever. If there's any music you want to play as you're taking a picture or video. Dragonade is Fake Paradox, by the way.
All right, can you all hear me?
Yep.
Alrighty. So, everyone find your favorite spot in this entire gallery. I'm just going to go start from the beginning, and I'm going to fly all the way through. Before we get started, I am not Paradox, and I do not edit anything that does go on Rizzle's Twitter every week. I'll give you all a few seconds to try and find your favorite spot in the gallery. And while I do that, I will play the intro, which is not going to be the fake intro, but we shall pretend.
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradox. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradox.
Oh my god, what is going on? How about now?
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradox. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradox. I'm taking over the show.
Okay. Have you all found your favorite spot in the gallery? Very far from Fake Paradox. How sad. Fake Paradox doesn't talk. Okay, well, I can just say random crap if you want. Okay, well, I'm gonna play some music. You all start throwing up some emojis and crap, and I mean throwing them up, okay? Not like with your hands, but I mean throw them up. Puke them emojis all over the place.
Waiting for something I can't make out, but I wanna talk to you.
Okay, perfect. Got it, great. Picture time over.
Boom. There you go. Thank you so much, Eric. And with that, we have the super shadowy coder trader up next. Do Raymond, if you want to unmute and start wherever you want to start your story, sir.
Yeah, Matthew, thanks for having me on. This is actually my first time speaking about all my trading experiences in front of a group of people. Yeah, so people, you probably don't know me, but my name is Raymond. I used to work with Matthew at Cent. That's actually how I got exposed to NFTs. But I wasn't really into it. He was like, I think at that point it was a lot of indie artists, a lot of like digital art. But for me, I didn't really get into it until maybe a year or 2 years later when the PFP craze started going up. It started all as an experiment in the phase. I put I think 2 ETH in my wallet and I was just kind of minting like random projects. And ultimately it kind of led me down this rabbit hole and meeting like all the sneaker botters that would bot all these drops and reading through contract code, finding exploits that we could use to mint more than the limit that contract set. So I mean, it was kind of a crazy experience because that was like during the bull market where everything you bought would essentially like 80% of the things that were minted would be profitable, which is insane, right? It was like a huge arbitrage thing that I saw and I kind of took advantage of it. So at that point, it was like, I think one of my first mints I did in the ETH blockchain was Jenkins. I think something Jenkins, right? I don't even know what it was. It was just like, okay, I'll just mint that. And then I think I doubled my money from there. And then it just kind of accumulated. And then it started like botting like basically every drop that came on my radar, including cryptodes. So like I minted like over 100 cryptodes. I think I was like top 3 minter of cryptodes. And then I basically dumped them for like 0.3 to 1 ETH. Just because like the name of the game for me wasn't speculation. It was more like, hey, if there's profit from me, I'm going to take it. Ultimately, if I kept it during the bull run, I would have been, I would have been a lot richer, but it is what it is. But yeah, from there, like there's like a lot of other mints like creatures. I minted like close to like 50, 80. And then, like World of Women Galaxy minted like a bunch. I basically minted like at least 50 of everything that I could. Got like top 1 or top 5 ranking and everything. So I would like flip that for like a lot of profit. And I didn't really, and then, that kind of crazy, like after like what, I think beginning of 2022, we started seeing a little bear market and the phase kind of shifted from like everything was profitable to like more whitelist drops. So I kind of like stopped a little after the whitelist drops because I didn't really want to spend time like farming like Twitter accounts and, spending the time to like grind for a whitelist. So that's when I kind of moved into market making. So market making, like a lot of these PFP projects, there's not a lot of liquidity for the more rare assets. So like what happens, like if you see an OpenSea, there's going to be like a bunch of these offers, right? A lot of them are bot offers. And I'm, if you're following one of the collections I kind of like strategically target, which is like the, Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, all like the ones that I know won't go away. I target those and I kind of market make for the more rare assets, like based on traits. And I've done kind of, I've been doing that ever since. And I think that the reason why that's been profitable for me is because most people, price their assets too high when when they're not desperate to sell, but they kind of like are, when they're desperate enough, they'll just accept the highest offer. And basically I have enough, patience to kind of, and patience and resolve to actually try to make the difference between the floor value of that item or the fair market value of that item and, the offer. A lot of times it's worked out really well. Like, usually I flip items within the same day, sometimes almost instantly. Like people, when basically, they see I made a purchase with my offers, they'll message me and they offer me 10% more than I paid for it. Yeah. So sniping basically, but using offers. So then from there, it kind of like, I noticed that a lot of this sniping or like market making isn't really available to normal people. You have to be botting to basically compete with these people, right? Because they're going to outbid you almost a second after you put a bid up. And they'll outbid by a very little amount. So kind of realized that there's like a gap in the market right now for, pricing of non-floor assets, right? Like if you have like a rare one of one of a PFP collection, how do you sell it? Right? If you need liquidity right now, how do you sell it, right? That's one of the biggest problems, I think. A lot of times you end up accepting that offer, and that's where I come in and make the money. So I created Nifty Auctions as a way to give access to other people. Like if you need to sell something, you put it up for auction, and if we can, ideally, if we get more eyes on it, more collectors will know that you're selling that item, potentially start a bid war and get close to fair market value for your item. And I think the unique aspect of what we're building is actually that everything done custodial and on chain. So unlike a lot of, I think, like super rare, like a lot of things are kind of done gaslessly, but for us, we do everything on chain. And I think there's some benefits to that. One is like you kind of rid a lot of the bot activity, because the bots can't spam offers. Essentially, every bid actually needs requires a transaction to be submitted and gas to be submitted. So for what I've noticed so far, it's been pretty good. A lot of people, the experience for a lot of people is, they get to kind of participate in these bid wars and get things that they normally wouldn't come across their radars. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all I have. But I think we're gonna open up for some questions. If you have any questions specifically for me, feel free to ask.
Cool. We'll pass the mic to Show for any of those questions. Just dropped a couple links to Raymond's Twitter and then the Nifty Auctions website. Check that out. But Show, hit him with those questions, man.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Brookhawk, I see you. I got you. Actually, we have a question from Brookhawk. He would like to know, what were some big auction sales made on your site?
Yeah, so for right now, we don't have a lot of people. I mean, I would say we don't have a lot of people using it. So I think the biggest one we've had was the other deed sale with the coda for like 9.5 ETH. It was better than, I think it went below what I think would be market rate, but it went higher than the amount you would have gotten if you accepted the highest offer at that time. So that's the highest we've gone. And, it's crazy because that alone is higher than the market, like the total volume that goes through Coinbase NFT right now.
That's cool. I have a pretty profound question here. Before we tag in Hidden Forces' question. Most of us here are like extreme degens, and we snipe, we trade, we do a lot of things. We've seen a lot of ups and downs in the space. This current crypto winter is unprecedented because we've never had a bull run like the previous one. So, again, we're blazing new trails, but we're blazing a pretty cold one. And we've seen a lot of companies and people leave the space, but also shed because their projected liquidity benchmarks aren't being hit, and they haven't been hit, and they're kind of bleeding out. You being as experienced as you are and creating a tool like your auction site, I guess I would say how. How exactly are you able to stay afloat if you're acquiring pieces, let's say like one of ones, like you mentioned, that are valued like 10 times, that have 10 times the value during a bull market, but during this bear are super below, and you're kind of making a profit, but not really? How are you able to still, I guess, shed those pieces, knowing that they're worth so much more and you're getting pennies on the dollar? I'm not sure if that makes sense. Basically, like you're selling yourself out. You know what I mean? How are you still able to stay afloat?
So when I started this market making thing, I basically had very little few NFTs in my wallet. I sold everything. I usually just try to sell everything as soon as possible. But if you're buying the rares, like especially for the PFP collections, you don't really want to sell when there's no volume going into it. So like a lot of these like companies will like do announcements, which would kind of instigate a little bit of like attention, which basically increases the volume, draws more eyes to like the OpenSea listings that you would list, and that's when I would try to unload. I don't really like right now for instance, CloneX is like down a lot, so I'm not gonna sell any of them right now because there's just not enough volume to get to draw eyes into those higher end assets. But when volume does pick up, I'm not afraid to take a loss. I'll take a loss, even if it means like 10 10, 20%, 30%, whatever. It's just like that's the only time I can offload that rare asset for a decent price. Otherwise, a lot of times I'll be ending up selling close to floor, which is not ideal.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, how do you manage to deal with a company that sabotages itself, like Artifact? High expectations, a strong product, but can't seem to connect with their own community. How does it affect your bottom line?
It definitely does. Like right now, there's like good and bad to it. So in the beginning, especially when FUD happens, there's gonna be a lot of people dumping, right? And that's when I could get a lot of those rare assets for pennies on dollars. But towards the end, if there's a sustained bear market, which like a kind of like a lull, which I would see Clonex in right now, then you basically have this endless dumping, and then eventually you only have so much liquidity to provide for 10,000, like 20, like 18,000 PFP pictures, right? But ultimately, I list everything I buy, so and I try to make it so it's competitive price, so like close to floor for that trade, or what I think is better value than everything around it. And like again, even for a loss, I'll still sell. Like it doesn't I don't really try to play the speculation game as much as more of like the arbitrage game. So if it means taking a loss, I would still sell it for whatever price. But here's the thing: I don't really do. I don't really accept offers because that's when you're giving up like the delta, right? So I'd rather undercut the floor.
That's wild. Sorry, last question from Hidden Forces. He would like to know, are there less known artists selling on your platform?
So right now we only do PFPs, and it's I'm specifically targeting PFPs because there's not I know the auction market is kind of more popular in the one-on-one digital art space, but it's not really popular yet for the PFP projects. So we're targeting that, and most of the items that are being sold they're already minted, so it's all the the holders that are using it to sell, right? Like if you don't really want to hold anything else, then you just sell it on there. But yeah, we don't really do any. It's mainly targeting sold like PFP pictures.
Cool. And I have a final degen question, but any projects currently under the radar, not in the pump cycle yet, that you're kind of holding out expectations of, or like clocking to see if it gets into any interesting territory, whether like you actually have a bag or not? Give us the alpha, sir.
I mean, I've kind of focused on the blue chips, but I have my eye on a few. I don't have any blue checks. Like I think it was like check marks. It was an open edition. I got my eye on that because there's a lot of people talking about it. That's a relatively low price point, but I mean, I don't have any of it yet. I should have bought because I was looking at it when there was like 0.15, but now I think they're like 0.3, 0.4 maybe. But another collection I'm looking at is like the PFP ones are more of I'm looking at, companies that raise money, like that aren't going away, right? Like not just the people that, hey, I create a PFP collection, you're investing in the community and they do these Ponzi-nomics to kind of attract more attention. I'm looking for things that, that could sustain past the bear market, right? Usually these are involved like companies that are building for the long term, Clone, like Artifact or Yuga, or the one that I'm currently eyeing is Valhalla. I kind of have like 10 of them right now. So Valhalla they're working on a live stream platform, kind of like Twitch, but they're doing it more like they're trying to make it so the creators own portion of the majority of the portion of the platform through their token drop. So they released a PFP collection that they're going to use to kind of promote the competitive equity gamers in their platform and stuff like that. And I think that stuff isn't going away. Of course, there's a bunch of degen mints that ultimately won't last past a month, and we've seen that 99% of those PFP projects are exactly that.
Nice offer right there, I think. If anyone else has any questions for the super shadowy coder trader figure, aka Raymond, hit him up. This guy's amazing. Really has been a pleasure to know him for the past few years. Super cool that he stuck around and gained 30 pounds over the past couple years, deep diving into NFTs since leaving Cent. So it's very cool, man. Just want to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So with that, I don't know if we dropped the guest book in World. Rizzle, if you're still there, if you want to drop that, folks that want to claim a Fabiano and Patrizia design wearable go in world. Rizzle's going to drop the guest book for y'all to sign. But with that, it's a nice tight whip right there today. Big shout out Origin Art Museum for that epic tour. Of course, Raymond again for everything that you just shared. And yeah, Rizzle, any closing words before we pass the mic to screen at us?
No, I'm still in world, but I don't have like Discord on the other device that I'm in world on. It's like a complicated multiple device situation. So I just dropped the guestbook link in Discord here, and we'll just delete it so the bots don't get it in a few minutes after we pass the mic over to show. So if you're listening in, hop in the Discord chat here and make sure you sign the guestbook. That'll get you the Fabiana and Patricia wearable for today. But with that, I think that's about it for the most part. It's great to be back. Matt, awesome speaker lineup and tour today. Shout out Origin Art and our shady friend Pokgai, aka Raymond, for giving us a really awesome series of presentations today. So awesome to be back with y'all. Thanks, Fake Paradox, for fake paradoxing. Shout out to Real Paradox wherever he is. And with that, I think we're good. Pass the mic over to show for the Afties.
Wait, is this thing on?
It's time for the Afties! Hot takes, opinions, thoughts. Let's go!
Whip fam, what's the deal? What's going on? How's my audio? My 2x2 or 5x5? 5x5, cool, awesome. And pardon any noise that's going on. My neighbors are making noise. But all right, y'all, you know the deal. With fam, it's a full-on slugfest. It's a full-on slugfest in these crypto streets. Google has eliminated 11,000 employees, and the only way I knew is because they all ran to TikTok after crying about it. A week ago they were making TikToks like, oh my God, look at what we can do in the facility. They're drinking from like weird fountains that are in the lobby, and like they're playing in foam pits and shit like that. But then they ran to TikTok and they said that the layoffs were performance based, and it's like a tragedy. It's a travesty and a tragedy, because for Gen Zers, you were always taught that everything is a meritocracy. It's either nepotism based or it's a meritocracy. And to be honest, welcome to the real fucking world, Silver Spoon Tech Nepo kids, who scored high on your SATs. Congratulations, now you know. You can be fucked over at any moment. There are also rumors floating around that the US government is coming after Google for breaking antitrust laws. I wish I would have antitrusted all of the free condoms that they were giving out that broke before I could use them, and while I was using them and after I was using them, could I get like a refund? Better yet, can I get the government involved in that? Please. Moving on. Speaking of condoms, there's been a shakeup at the twin-run crypto entity Gemini, home of the Winklevoss twins, and specifically the Cockfoster twins, who run a subsidiary of the previously named, affectionately known company known as Nifty Gateway. Yes, I said known twice. Because hello, twins. Do you understand, twins? I said it twice. It was Nifty Gateway. And they're packing their shit. They're packing their shit and leaving. because they were too successful. They were too successful at Nifty Gateway and love being tortured by uncertainty and lack of funds. The success was too good, even in a crypto bear market. Just imagine, you got everything right during the bull and the bear market, and they're like, you know what? I need some more cock and ball torture. Shout out to the cockfosters. Please mute your microphone. Thank you so much. So they are looking to create a whole new startup. They're looking to create a whole new startup, and they're leaving. And guess who's taking over Nifty Gateway? Guess who is taking over Nifty Gateway? He's not in the voice channel, but it's all good. None other than our very own Matthew. None other than our very own Nifty Time taking over Nifty Gateway. So please tag and ping and congratulate him on becoming the next Gary V/Lex Luthor of our space. Last but not least, people are so bored and frustrated with everything that once again, they are sabotaging and tripping over themselves and just blatantly being dumb. Kevin Rose of Web3, the Web3 superstar, owner of Proof, of Moonbirds, that was a blue chip that maybe Raymond had his eye on and was probably making a profit off of. That makes zero fucking sense at all. I still don't fucking get Moonbirds at all. It's a pixelated fucking bird with different colors. It feels like 1991, 1992 on the NES. He got fished and lost $1 million. And then thanks to his dumbass, right? His loss is a cause for spreading FUD for no fucking reason other than not realizing that people would consider him to be a caliber at the highest of calibers of having extremely good security fundamentals and awareness because he's popular. Newsflash, Kevin Rose, newsflash, you're a dumbass. Welcome to the Afties. Welcome to the Afties. I'm your host, show you already know. If you don't know, you now know. We have some awesome presenters. Shout out to our presenters.
Lamau.
Please unmute your microphones if you have a question.
Lamau.
We have some awesome presenters presenting some presentable things. And please phrase your question rhetorically. Make it in the form of a hot take. Better yet, instead of a question, instead of a rhetorical question, instead of a statement, make it an opinion. Provide an opinion. Unmute your microphone. In our current climate, we had two presenters that were presenting things that seem to go against the current tide. People are selling a lot. People are selling. One has an extremely valuable collection. Who knows how the fuck they acquired all that shit? But in a time where on the chart, you have both parts of the chart kind of sliding down, the liquidity aspect, the overall value of things, overall interest are both sliding. How do you manage to churn a profit? The overall value of the items is super low. It's at the lowest that it's ever been. If you're looking to buy and sell, you're probably not going to make that much. But at the same time, I'm dumb. And in this space, a lot of times, the dumb people wait for whitelists. The dumb people wait to be told what to do. It's the people who are actively doing things and acquiring when there's blood in the streets that make the most. Thoughts?
There's some deals out there. There's some great deals out there right now. I've been perusing a little. Yeah, maybe you can't buy and flip right away for a big profit, but there's some stuff from like well-known artists that people that can go cheap. So Maybe you find something historical for a good deal and you hold that long term. I mean, I don't know. I for the like very rarely get something and flip it with, but a couple of the like kind of open mints that have been popular, I was able to do that with. So there's ways to still be active and make a little bit off trading right now. But yeah, so scour and scroll for those great deals.
I think that the idea and concept of discounts and deals only occurs when there's activity or when things are just on the low side. I think that we're below. We're even below the below. So even discounts can't even be priced in properly. This is like below fire sale. This is
Exactly.
below. This
That's
is below.
some shit.
This is below Goodwill. This is below Red Cross. This is below thrift store. Even thrift store is considered bullish. So what do you do? What do you do? Do you acquire? If the overall value of your liquid, you can't extract value from the space anymore, what do you do? Raymond made a good point on, he used the word delta. He won't accept any offers because we all know that offers, even now, especially if things are below the fire sale limit, the idea of the delta is lost because when an offer comes in, the offer is already lowballed as it is. They lowball the lowball. It's not even a fun scavenger hunt, Jack's Hideaway. It's not even scavenger hunts are cool because you can find the diamonds in the rough. You know? Thoughts?
So you lie and you hype up the value.
So you join hands with someone like Farouk or whatever the fuck, how the fuck you say his name. There are millions of people who know how to say it correctly. You don't need me to say your name properly, motherfucker. To the point where they're calling it Farouk Radio, and will it survive even with or without him? Because it's so informative. Yeah, I sound like a hater. I'm just calling it how I see it. I'm loud. You can say I'm loud, but I can also say that your shit is shit.
It could be corrupt, Farouk.
Or fucked. If you listen to that information and you aspire to be a DJ like Raymond in space, how much value is no value?
All of it.
What is the concept of value? I think that if you're a DJ like Raymond in the space and you're cutting your teeth now, I think that when the next bull run comes, you have real stripes, because this is the equivalent of early 2020, late 2019. I would say it's the equivalent. You cut your teeth now, it's the same, because it's static energy. It's static energy, and not only that, it's not that the bullshit's been weeded out. No, this bullshit's still here. I still get tagged in all these scammy tweets from these unknowns. But I think that if you're actively doing things, I think that something's happened where with the new rules, the old rules are in effect. The old rules have been upgraded. It's like you're in the space, there's less activity. You see the value, you're trying to make the profit. There's less interest in providing liquidity towards your activity of you trading. By you attempting to establish a museum, if you want to create a valuable museum like our first presenter, right? And you're what did he say? Oh, he was borrowing and stealing. Shout out to him. That's an old but classic term, because it's true. Because you see the value, there's even less value being given. I'm not sure if I'm making sense to people. I'm the stupidest person in the room. If this is sub value, you're a third world country trading away in order to get some things that you hope you can make a profit off of.
If you're buying decent art right now, ETH is pretty low, markets are low, prices are low. Think about when there's a big bull run that comes. Maybe not a dumb move to go on a little shopping spree.
Is that financial advice?
I'm giving financial advice.
I disagree, because now we have information, we have data that tells us that the overall market is dumber than it was a year and a half ago. The sentiment that comes with a finely created, finely crafted, finely tuned piece of artwork is less enthusiastic, less enthused, less interested to negative sentiment. I think that even if there is a run, people don't care about artwork anymore. They don't know what they care about. They're chasing a blue chip. They're chasing a company that's receiving money from venture capitalists. Thoughts?
Gotta get money somehow.
No one cares about artwork anymore. No one cares about space. They only care about a profit. But making a profit when there is no profit to be made makes you kind of insane. Thoughts?
Well,
I'm not insane. You're insane.
the
Psycho.
greedy fart fighters are chasing only a profit, but there's plenty of people that still care about art. It just doesn't have the super high dollar right now because sentiments change. And when the sentiment is popular to appreciate NFT art because the value is going back up, then the value goes up.
With them at this point, I have no idea. Well, like, I'm slow, I'm dumb, so I didn't know before. So I'm too slow to see if there's any momentum or something new, a new ape something, a new former owner of Token Smart shilling that this is the next greatest thing, and me not believing him because he already had a thing that was supposed to be the next greatest thing that didn't pop off. So me missing that because I thought that he should have been paying attention to the thing that he created based off of the other thing that was pixelated and only people who were around for a long time had. So there's not even that sign anymore. I said former, by the way, not the current, the former one who's supposed to be
explaining
a
yourself
genius.
right now? Are you show-splaining?
Yeah.
How fucking dare you?
So I'm too stupid to see if there's anything happening. I don't know. All I can say is, let's just fucking keep cruising along. Yacht or not, just keep cruising along. Some new shit will pop off. Hopefully it's cool enough to engage with, because CryptoVoxel sucks. Being in here now, I still don't understand why the fuck shit moves so slow when we were in spatial last week and the shit was cool as shit. It was smooth and buttery. So I don't get it. I don't know anymore, right? Thank you so much, everybody, for coming through this edition of the After. Shout out to the entire leadership team at meme.com. Shout out to the WIP crew. You know I love each and every single one of you. Last but not least, WIP fam. keep doing your thing. Keep doing shit. I don't know. Just keep doing what the fuck that you do. If no one else is telling you to keep doing shit, do shit. Fuck it. Regardless of whether or not they're haters, people trying to knock you off of your rhythm, your flow, making noise. I don't know. Fuck them. Much love. See you later.
Do shit except for shows planning, because that's terrible.